Hello and welcome to another episode of The Elegant Life. My name is Erin Kurt and I am a spiritual teacher and life coach who assists women in living their most exquisite, divine-inspired life. We are continuing on this week with the topic of upgrading your life. Last week, we spoke about all kinds of things in your environment that you can do to upgrade your life. But this week, I'm telling you, we are going to do it to the next level, okay? When we use beautiful things, as I suggested last week, when we upgrade our glasses, drinking water from a wine goblet instead of just a regular, maybe even plastic cup, or our old cups, upgrading our pajamas or our loungewear around the house, upgrading. When we do things like that, we definitely feel better. And we experience life with more beauty and more joy and more awe and more pleasure. Today, I want to share with you something that I had an inspiration to when I was on the airplane heading to Turkey. We have a summer home in Turkey, and we went there for my 2-week holiday, and we travel quite often with Turkish Airlines. They did a video with Dr. Oz that just set my soul in just another elevated, upgraded sense of joy and wonderment. And it was a commercial for Turkish Airlines with Dr. Oz called Widen Your World. And I want to show you an amazing thing that I did so many years ago that started my life from being this to this. I'll share it with you right after the video. Here it is.
Did you know there's a world of miracles inside our bodies? For example, your eyes can see 10 million shades of color. Sometimes all you need to do is look up. We can hear thousands of sounds, from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Our bodies can withstand temperatures around 60 degrees centigrade. Our tongues can differentiate 100,000 different tastes. Our noses can distinguish more than 1 trillion scents. Knowing each one of them, that's the tough part. Get out there. Explore. See, smell, hear, taste, touch. Widen your world.
So, didn't that inspire you? Didn't that make you want to go on a trip to experience life? Yes, we talk about doing our purpose and earning money and becoming financially abundant. And yes, we talk about all those kind of things. We know that makes life enjoyable. And with the more abundance we have, the more we can experience life fully. However, I just want to simply focus on the topic of saying yes to life. Yes. If someone comes to you and suggests an idea, why don't you come stay at our cabin? Or I've got a cabin, or I've got a place, you can stay with it. Instead of first thinking of all the reasons why you can't and all the responsibilities and the why you maybe shouldn't or can't, or all these things that start blah, 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 going on in our mind, say yes. So about 5 years ago, a friend of ours said, you should really go meet my other friend. And he works in Bodrum and he owns a tourism company. So just go meet him. I think you just get along really great. So my husband and I were in Bodrum And we decided to go meet this person, and we met him, and we really hit it off. And he said to me, and then let me just say this. And our plan after that, because we had just literally sort of arrived in Bodrum, and usually we like to go grocery shopping, get the whole house packed and set up, and then we just start enjoying. So that was our plan. We were in Bodrum, we were going to do some things, we were going to meet this guy, and then we were going to go grocery shopping. And I just wanted to really get the house stocked. So we meet this guy, and he's got tons of yachts, okay? And he says to us, look, I've got a yacht not too far away that's just going to be coming back for us to clean up and get ready again for the next trip. Why don't I have my guy drive you out to the yacht, and then you come back here having a nice little sail for the afternoon? Do you know what my first reaction back then was? Oh, thanks, that'd be nice, but we were going to go grocery shopping. Are you kidding me? This was the first thing out of my mouth. Who? I don't even know who that was. Who in their right mind would say no to that? I mean, the one thing I was thinking, and then I started to come up with the reasons, right? Well, I don't have a bathing suit. He said, Marks and Spencer's is just 2 stores down. To buy one. Well, I suppose I could. So my husband and I ran off, and we went and bought a really nice, to this day I quite like it, bathing suit. And then he said, get all ready. My husband didn't have any shorts. He said, look, I've got some upstairs. Do you want to wear mine? So my husband wore his. And we went out to this yacht, and we spent the rest of that afternoon being treated like royalty. We had a personal team of chefs who just came to us and said, what would you like to eat? They prepared this whole buffet dinner for lunch for us. We just went from the back of the yacht to the front of the yacht. We suntanned, we squealed. We just could not believe this was happening to us. It was the most luxurious thing that we had experienced at that time in our lives. And I was about to give it all up because I had to go grocery shopping. Yeah, I still can't believe it myself. That moment changed things for me. I started to say yes to more and more things. You know, when I was a teenager, I was enamored. If you don't know that I am today even enamored with France and the French culture and the French language and French food and, you know, French fashion and all this kind of stuff. I was like that when I was a teenager. And I wanted to speak French so much. And I used to see people in my classes doing exchange programs with other young girls in Quebec, because Canada is a bilingual country. So you could do an exchange with a family. I was so envious of them for having the courage to go leave their family, you know, speak this language when I didn't know how to fully. I was led by fear and what if, and I never did. And it hounded me until, you know, sometimes the universe makes things get so uncomfortable that you say, screw this, I am just doing what my soul wants. And that's exactly what happened when I left my first marriage. I said, screw this, I am going for my dream. I'm quitting my teaching job, even though it was a recession and I was giving up my whole entire security of coming back and ever being able to find a job. I just said yes to life. And I went to France, and I had, as you all know, the most life-changing year of my entire life, other than my spiritual experience, which I had 6 years ago. But again, I said yes to that experience. You know, we women give so much attention to other people's needs, and we don't say yes to ourselves. We don't give permission to ourselves to experience something when all we see is like, how am I going to make this happen? Who am I going to get to look after the kids? How can I do this to my husband and let him have to figure things out for once? I mean, this just gets me when women say this. The only reason I get like kind of charged about this is I'm tired of seeing women not live their life. We've got to give ourselves permission because nobody else will. Say yes and figure out the details later. Later. You know, there was a time, 6, 7, well, it's almost 7 years ago, when I was in absolute complete depression. And I had no clue how I was going to get out of it. I was just recklessly doing things with my life. And what finally happened when a friend of ours said, come to Turkey for, it was 6-day spiritual retreat. And, you know, obviously you got to get there. So that's a day and then another day coming back. So we're talking 8 days. I had a 12-month-old. I had another son who had to go to school. My husband and I said yes. And then we figured the details out later. We had to fly his parents in from Turkey, and then we flew out from Turkey. We had to train them how to walk my son to school, when to pick him up. Everything we had to do, but we said yes. And that was another life-changing year for me. That is why I am able to do what I do now. I was downloaded the truths of the universe. I know them. They are in my energetic system, and I am able to live my life in the most luxurious, beautiful, fulfilling way that I ever could dream possible. But if I didn't say yes to that, I wouldn't have had that experience. So my question to you is this: what can you say yes to? What have you been saying no to for so long? And what can you finally say yes to? If there's nothing major right now, although I kind of think for most women there is something, you know, maybe you want to go to a 1-week cleanse or a 1-week detox holiday. Maybe you wanted to come to the Elegant Experience that we were having in May. Maybe you wanted to take someone up on a cottage or a cabin that they had. Maybe you wanted to go get that facial treatment. You know, even little things that bother you. If you've always wanted to, someone offered you a free session on something and you didn't do it. You know, I'll never forget, for one friend of mine, she would just complain and complain and complain. She never had time for herself. Her back was killing her. Her emotions were all over the place. And I went and I bought her, I think, a session of a few massages. She never used them. You know what? I bought them from a massage friend of mine. And the massage friend said, well, it's been a year and a half. Do you want to use them? And I said, you know what? Yeah. So I ended up getting 3 massages because she didn't say yes. Give yourself permission and start saying yes more often. And then just see how you widen your world. What beautiful gifts are there for you. You know, when you put a desire out into the universe starts conspiring right away. But you can't receive what the universe wants to gift you if you constantly say no. How? I can't do that. You have to start saying yes and then figure out the how after. It'll all come to you. That's my message for this week. This is what the Elegant Life is about. It's not just me teaching you how to live a good spiritual life. It's me showing you and gifting you processes and guidance on how to live an exquisite, divine, inspired life. So that's my challenge to you. I'd love to hear from you. Do you have a wish? Do you have a desire that you really are wanting to say yes to? Let me know what your experience with this whole yes, saying yes to life. Have you ever said yes and had the most amazing experience of your life? Share it. Share it with me. You will inspire other women by doing so. We will see you next week on another topic of upgrading and elevating your life. Mwah! See you next week.